bill.
Senate Bill 992 relating to beverage containers and declaring an emergency.
Recognize Senator Sollman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, Oregon's bottle bill is the cornerstone of the state's environmental efforts. For decades, it has provided a national model for EPR and recycling. Senate Bill 992 makes carefully tailored improvements to how the bottle bill works for Oregon, future-proofing this national leading industry stewardship program for the long term while ensuring Oregonians still have convenient access to container redemption. Senate Bill 992 passed out of the Senate Energy and Environment unanimously. It provides modifications to the container return opportunities in the city of Portland. Some of the key features for this alternative model is it's available for cities with a population greater than 500K. It's operated by a nonprofit organization. Some of you may be very aware of the People's Depot. That's a great example of this. And it's going to be sponsored by a distributor cooperative. They will accept at least 350 individual containers per person per day. Creates one convenience zone adjusting to the retail take-back requirements from grocers and convenience stores up to 3.5 miles for large and small retail organizations. There's a large format, there's a small format. I want folks to know that we met multiple times with both 7-Eleven and Plaid Pantry reps, and we talked about this within that area for the opportunities in the city of Portland. We'll limit container returns within that zone to 24 per person per day. That's down from 50. And it will limit container returns in that area for the small convenience stores from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. With that change, OBRC expects the small amount of redemption volume from large format stores within the downtown Portland area to shift predominantly either to the Alternative Access Redemption Center or to OBRC's Green and Blue Bag program, rather than shifting to the convenience stores. There's low-impact redemption centers and convenience zones elsewhere. Senate Bill 992 allows OLCC to collapse certain convenience zones placed around redemption centers into a single uniform zone. This bill will also, the concepts incorporated from other bottle bill legislation that we saw from the House and the Senate. So the omnibus legislation pulls in concepts from 3 additional pieces of legislation introduced this session, which include signaling that redemption centers are an appropriate use in industrial zones in the way they are generally and allowed use in commercially zoned areas, and codifying best practices for public engagement in the redemption center application process. This came from House Bill 2921. From Senate Bill 869, we're adjusting the hours for dealer in-store redemptions all across Oregon to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to allow for sufficient staffing and support for redemption services at those stores. House Bill 3432, incorporated into this bill, allows wineries in Oregon that sell wine in cans out of their tasting room to limit their container redemptions to the beverages that they make and they sell. Colleagues, this has been a beautiful multi-stakeholder process with multiple meetings. With this bill, we hope to increase the green and blue bag access, including expanding access in multiple languages as well. OBRC is actively working on that. Colleagues, this is a good bill, should pass, and I urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Is there discussion on the measure? Recognize Senator Robinson.
We had extensive discussion on this bill in committee. The question that I was a little bit surprised about this, the question I could never get answered was how many bottles does the bottle bill keep off the street? Any kind of estimate of that? How many bottles are currently getting through the system on the street? Because, of course, the bottle bill was originally and is intended to be an anti-littering program. There's lots of ways of getting rid of trash from people that are responsible, and most people are responsible. So I asked repeatedly, nobody knows. We probably should look into this. It was stated that most bottles are returned. Of course, there's money involved. And it was presented basically, and one way of looking at it is that homeless people are cleaning up our streets for us at a very low wage. But I also see them just getting the bottles out of the trash. So I don't know where we are. I think we should study this. But after talking with everybody involved, as far as I can tell, this makes a very expensive, complicated system a little bit better. So I urge everyone to support it because I think it's an improvement. So thank you.
And thank you, Senator. Is there additional discussion? Recognize Senator Brock-Smith.
Thank you. Question of the carrier.
My apologies. Is there a question of the carrier? Does the carrier yield?
Yes.
The carrier yields.
Just thank you, and thank you, Senator. Just for clarification, wine bottles are out, correct?
Yes, at this time, wine bottles are not included in the bottle return process.
Thank you to the bill. I really appreciate the Senator from District 15 and the chair of the E&E committee for the extensive work that she did in bringing these stakeholders together with regards to OBRC, grocers, our convenience stores, even the wineries. It was fantastic. I agree with Senator from Southern Oregon. It does make the system better. It lessens the burden on especially our smaller convenience stores in our more urban areas with the limit of 24 and 8 to 8. And so we, again, appreciate the chair for her leadership on this important issue for the state.
Thank you, Senator. Seeing no additional members in the queue, Senator Sollman, do you wish to close?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, all I wanted to mention was that I received some data back from OBRC. So 90.4 is the preliminary data of the returns that we get on our cans and bottles in Oregon. That is absolutely stellar. Our return system, our bottle return system, 50 years plus, is something that is a shining beacon for other states to look at. It's not only important for our environment. This is also for our businesses that are taking part in this as well as people who are just trying to make sure that they can make their utility bill in a month. I was able to witness the People's Depot. I saw people coming in wheelchairs and walking up, and seniors and everything else returning cans, because I talked to one person and it was just about the fact that they needed to make their utility bill. And so just wanted to say I appreciate all the work from the stakeholders, and I also want to mention that there's some really exciting projects moving forward with Ravino and refillable bottles and things like that for wine, that OBRC is continuing to engage in those conversations, and I look forward to taking part in those conversations as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Question now rises about the third reading and final passage of Senate Bill 992A. Those who have the opinion of the bill should be passed. Once their ayes or names are called. Those opposed, no. The clerk will please call the roll.
Thatcher. Weber. Woods. Anderson. Bonham. Broadman. Campos. Frederick. Gelser-Bluen. Gibrod. Golden. Gorsuch. Hayden. Jama. Lieber. Linthicum. Manning. McLean. Meek. Nash. Patterson. Pham. Przonski. Reynolds. Robinson. Brock-Smith. Sollman. Starr. Taylor. President Wagner.
Aye.
Excused, Woods, voting nay. Thatcher, 28 ayes.
Senate Bill 992A, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed.